Hey guys, welcome back to A Better Understanding YouTube channel. I'm Louisa and this is Monday. This week we're going to be talking about how others reacted when we came out to them. So that's going to be the topic for this week, and I will share 2 stories with you. 3, 4. So the overall realm of when I've come out to people, the reactions have been very positive. I've been embraced with love, understanding, respect. But there's also been ones that have been really not good. There have been reactions that have hurt and that have made me feel like I didn't want to come out to anyone again, that have made me feel like I was a horrible person. So I'll share a little bit of both experiences with you. And I guess I'll start with the bad. Okay, so I grew up in a very conservative town. I went to a Christian school. I had been going to church all my life. So those are things in general that make coming out as any form of LGBT identity very difficult. I was coming out as pansexual, which was something I'd always have to explain to people. People didn't understand what is pansexual, what does that mean. So you'd have to say, hey, I'm pansexual, that means this, this, this. And it made the conversation a lot longer than it necessarily had to be. So with church was probably the biggest part. I came out as pansexual and I got rejected from my first church. Not because they didn't love me, but because they didn't agree with my lifestyle. That was really difficult. So I went to another church and honestly had the same thing happen. This is probably not going to be the case in every church, but in my town it was. And I had always volunteered and worked at Bible camp. They knew me, they knew I was good with the kids, they knew I was respectable, etc. It shouldn't be a problem. But it was. When they got to the theology part, it was made very, 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 very clear that the LGBT lifestyle, as they called it, was not acceptable and people would be sent home immediately. Anyone on the staff who was caught with any LGBT related stuff at all, gender, sexuality, etc., would be dismissed immediately. Campers would have their parents called, etc. So it was really strict, and at the end of the weekend there was an expectation that you sign the agreement form, the doctrine agreement form, that basically says I agree with what this camp is teaching. So I took the form, I read it over, and it was very, very biased in that regard as well. So I went to the CAB director. He was not respectful. He demanded to know what church I grew up in, what denomination I grew up in, who would have taught me such blasphemy. He completely took my religious views and attacked them. And my religious views are not what should be on stake. My own belief that I can't sign this, and I apologize that I've spent the whole week here and won't actually be able to help with your camp at all. That should be the primary thing, is that I won't be at this camp. I hope it works out well for you. I don't think that was appropriate. I don't think that was respectful. I felt very hurt, and I have never gone back to camp. I do not intend on going back to working at any type of a Bible camp. By that point, I felt that the whole community of religion in general, the whole Christianity community, was just going to hate me. And no, that's not true. There are so many denominations, so many congregations, so many individuals within the Christian community or any other religious community that will be accepting and loving and welcoming. I'd say the only other really negative response when I came out to anyone was my mother. And it's not negative because she doesn't love me or because she doesn't agree with who I am. I considered it negative because it was a very rash response. It was a very hurtful response towards me, but not one I know she intended to be hurtful. So when I came out to my mother, one of her first responses was, oh, well, that's going to make your career really hard in the future. And yes, I do understand that, but I asked, why? Why would you say that? And her response to that was, well, people may not trust you with their children, or if people know you're gay, they may not trust you with the same sorts of issues. And I thought that was very, very horrible to say, because first of all, that is something I am very passionate about. That is not something you should attack initially. I know that my identity will make things difficult. That's just a fact, because that's the society we live in. As far as your sexuality and a career, your sexuality is only part of your career as much as you make it a part of your career. There are ethics boards that if I have a client, I don't have to tell them my sexuality. I don't have to tell them if I'm married or not, if I have children or not. My private life can stay as much my private life as I choose it to. That does not need to be a part of my career. And that hurt a lot. That made me doubt myself a lot, doubt whether I ever wanted to come out to anyone again, doubt everything. But as I said, not all of my people's reactions have been bad. There have been some very good reactions, like my best friend and my school. So I'll share those with you right now. So despite the realm of religious rejection and hurt that has been a part of my life due to my sexuality, I did come out at my school a week after school ended. A week after I graduated. I had friends that were still in grade 11, still in grade 12, that I came out to then. And I knew they knew. Like, they knew all the way through high school. We'd be sitting at the lunch table talking about stuff. We'd end up on the topic of planning future weddings. They'd just automatically plan me a wedding to a guy and a wedding to a girl. They didn't think much of it. I didn't think much of it. I internally was super appreciative of it and loved them greatly. I never said anything, but they always did that for me. I don't know why. So they had to have some inclination because I was the only one in our group that did that. But I'd never said anything. And then when I had a girlfriend, right when I came out of high school, I had told one of my friends, like, I'm dating her. She's wonderful and stuff, like, because I wanted to tell someone. I wanted someone there to be excited. And she was, like, my best friend was so excited for me. And the other people at my high school, despite it being a Christian high school, were very supporting and loving and really just wanted the best for me and wanted me to be happy with someone. My favorite reaction was my absolute best friend. And she was the first person I ever came out to. So we were having a sleepover. This when we were like 10 or 12 or so. We were having a sleepover at her place, sitting on her bed, watching TV. And I remember just being like, hey, I need to tell you something. Like, this is something really important. And I remember I was almost crying. And so I said, like, I think I like girls too, or something like that. And I instinctually just started crying. Like, I buried my head under the blanket and started crying. However, like, a minute later, she just farts really loud. And that was her response, just farting. But, yeah, so she just farted. So I'm sitting there, I come out to her, crying, hysterically, upset, worried, and scared, and she's sitting there farting. That was literally, she's just like, oh, okay, just fart. That was first ever response, and honestly, it's still my favorite, just because it's an affirmation of that really doesn't matter. That's great. That's my favorite response that I've ever had. So, those are probably my favorite responses or favorite ways of dealing with my sexuality from others that I've encountered so far. But as everyone always says, coming out is a process. You do not come out once and have everyone know. You don't come out once in one group and expect the whole group to know.